Alright, so let's go through this to solve. First, we have to find the angles of that triangle. Not the entire right triangle, but just a little sliver of the triangle where we have our angles and our side. 2, we have to find C using the law of sines. And then finally, we'll find H using the typical sine of the angle, hypotenuse over C. I'm sorry, the height over C. So let's go through this. We know that this angle theta, right here in the corner, is 180 minus 40 degrees. Then alpha will be 180 minus theta plus 31.5. Now, if you need, you'll need some prerequisite trigonometry for this. So if you don't understand how many degrees are in a triangle, you want to look that up. That's 180. So alpha then equals 180 minus theta, which is 180 minus 40, plus the 3150. So we're substituting, right? So the 180s cancel out, and it gives you 40 minus 31.5. We're going to call 40 gamma, and we'll call 31.5 beta. Or we come out with 8.5. Now, we can also say that gamma minus beta equals alpha. All right, so that's just using some identities and some substitution. So now we're going to deal with C. Well, the sine of alpha over 40, okay, this sine here over this distance that we have will equal the sine of theta over C. Now, sines are interesting because at 180 degrees, they tend to repeat themselves, and since we're in the second quadrant, the sine is still positive. So we'll just convert theta to gamma, which is fine. That just makes it a first quadrant angle of 40, not the second quadrant angle of 140. Okay, again, you need to know a little bit of trigonometry to get this idea down. All right, so now we have C, which we're going to take the C is now equal to, okay, 40 sine gamma over sine alpha. All right, so that's our C value. All right, what is it yet? Well, we're going to continue working on it, do some substitutions, so don't worry about it. Now we have C, we have our angle beta, and we have our H. So now we can go ahead and determine our H. So we set sine B, SOHCAHTOA, right? Sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. So we're going to put the H over the C. And then we're going to go ahead and get our answer here. Height will equal C times the sine of B. Now we're going to go ahead and simplify because we have to do all kinds of substitutions here. So let's go ahead and do that. I won't reveal the answer yet. So we're going to, again, make 40 equal to X. All right, we're going to try to get this a little more kind of just in the formula sense. So we know that X, from back up here, we have our X value times the sine of gamma over sine of alpha, because that's our C value, right? X sine gamma over sine alpha. And we want to go ahead and multiply that by sine B. Okay, so we took C here and we replaced it with what C actually is after having replaced 40 by X. And then we multiply it by sine beta will give us H. All right. So essentially what we do is we go ahead and we'll rewrite alpha as what it was. If you remember up here, I said alpha is equal to gamma minus beta. So now we're going to go ahead and take X sine gamma over the sine of alpha, which is gamma minus beta. And we're going to multiply that by sine beta, and that'll give us H. So our final formula comes out to the height equaling X sine gamma sine beta over the sine of gamma minus beta. Now do not do the rudimentary, you can't expand this, so please. The sine of this quantity of gamma minus beta is not equal to the sine of gamma minus the sine of beta. All right, this nomenclature doesn't work. This is not a factoring type nomenclature. This actually represents a distinct value. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and here's our requisite parts of our triangle. We knew we needed the height. We do have beta, we do have gamma, and we do have x. So if we plug those guys in, okay, we wind up with 40 times the sine of 40 times the sine of 31.5 divided by the sine of 40 minus 31.5, and that will give us the answer 90. So there's quote a demonstrandum. If I confused you or missed something, go ahead and put it down in the comments, and I'll go ahead and explain that straight away. So there's no problems here. So again, our final height, what we did is from our eyeball now. Now remember, if you need the exact height, you have to actually measure your eyeball to your feet. I mean, unless you're laying on the ground, which is kind of weird, right? So if you were standing here, for example, at this point, this is your eye point. So you would have to add your height, whatever that is, to get the actual height to the surface of the ground. Or if you just wanted the height from where you're looking, that's fine. You can use the eye height here, all right? So I cut an angle B to the top of our little flame there. And then I paced off 40 meters. And of course, this X, the value, whether it's meters, feet, inches, the height will be meters, feet, or inches, respectively. All right. So again, I moved toward my object directly, and on a completely flat horizontal surface, of course. And then I struck my second angle after that 40 meters, and that was my 40-degree angle. Plug it into the formula, and then we know that the height, according to this triangle, is 90 plus whatever your eye height is above the ground, if that's what you're looking for. So, quod erat demonstrandum. And go ahead, like, subscribe, share, comment if I confused you somewhere. I'll go ahead and explain that out. And we'll see you on the next one.